what we've been using so far is IDs. Now, for IDs, you want to target a unique element. Okay, a single element. You can only use that particular ID once in your document. Okay, classes you can use all over the place. If you only need to style one particular element in once on your page, use an ID. If you want to be able to use it multiple times, use a class. I think the easiest way to demonstrate that is show you what I would like to target here. Okay, I would like to add a specific styling to the motorcycle companies, okay? And they are in different elements, okay? So let's look here. So a brief history of Harley Davidson. I want to style the company name here Harley Davidson, and that's within this H3 element, okay? Now, Harley Davidson is also going to be within an H4 element here. And let's see what else here. Triumph is in an H3. Triumph's also in a paragraph here. Okay, here's Triumph in an H4. So I want to create a class where I can go in and hit all these different instances of company names with specific styling. And we do that with classes. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up one right now. Okay, let's grab Harley Davidson. There we go, Harley Davidson. Now, a tag that's really similar to a div and that it's used to divide up content is the span tag, okay? Now, span tag on its own will actually render nothing. Whereas if you wrap something in a div, it'll at least give you one line of white space separating the content. Span, though, will give you nothing, and you can actually put spans inside wherever you want, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and type in span here, okay? And that's a span tag, okay? And I could actually just go like this if I wanted to. Then we've used our span tag, and we don't want to do that. We want to actually be a little more specific so that we can keep using these all over. And see how class popped up? Go ahead and just throw in class right there. Now we have to give the class a name, and it's just like IDs. The difference is I can use these over and over again on the page, okay? Regardless of what elements our content is wrapped in, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just call it, bike company, okay? You notice how I did camel caps here, where it's a lowercase letter here, and then capital C for the second word? That's pretty common. You see that a lot in programming and HTML. So anyway, that's why I did it like that. And okay, so bike company. And that's all we need to do. We have just created a class, and now we can style that class. Now, there is a little bit of difference between, or one of the differences between IDs, which you identify with a pound, and class is that you identify classes with a dot instead, or a period, okay? And so then it's a bike company, okay? And I mean, you can see where we're going from here. That's the only difference right there, just like that. No big thing, all right? And all I want to do is I want to change the font size a little bit, okay? And well, what's the main font size here again? Are we at 1.2 em? Okay, 1.2 em. Let's go ahead and make this one a little bit larger, okay? We'll set this one to be 1.4 ems, okay? And remember, look these definitions up, okay? If you're not sure what ems are, just look them up in the W3 schools, okay? You have this awesome reference. Again, these videos would take hours and hours if we broke down the definition of every single thing, and it's impossible all at once to memorize these. You're always going to go back and look these up for your first couple of weeks. It's going to surprise you how fast you pick up HTML, though. Okay, and CSS, of course. So, and let's say the font style, okay? Font style, and we're going to go ahead and make that, look, it's nice, it just shows us some different things, the italic, okay? All right, and so let's go ahead and test that out and see how we're doing. Okay. Okay, see how it worked? Okay, so Harley Davidson, right there. Great. Now we can use that class, the bike company, all over the place wherever we find these things. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. All right. So where do we leave off here? Okay, span class bike company. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in anywhere else where Harley Davidson's used. Let's see. Visit the Harley Davidson timeline. We could actually do it right there as well. So I'm going to throw it in right there, and then I need to close that span tag like so. Okay, good enough. And then let's see if that worked. Okay. Yep. Visit the. See how? There we go. Visit the Harley Davidson. Cool. And list of Harley Davidson models. Let's throw it in right there too. So there and there. And see how it jumped there? Visit the Harley Davidson models. Okay, except for I included models there. So I need to take my closing span tag, cut it out, and paste it right there, and hit save. See that? So now just Harley Davidson is emphasized in this new way, styling off of the class. Now, let's go ahead and jump into Triumph. Okay, so now we can make Triumph. Oops, I went ahead and I have to type this one out by hand now. So span, which is fine, it's a good practice, right? So span, okay, class equals bike company, okay? Just like that, easy enough, right? And then on the other side of, we'll keep the word motorcycles in there, like that. And then let's go ahead and check on our Triumphs. There we go, Triumph motorcycles. And let's see, just for fun, let's go ahead and throw one in here on Triumph too. Okay, so like so. Did that again. I'm going to go ahead and just cut and paste that. Copy. And then right in front of Triumph here, we'll go ahead and throw that in and then close that tag out. That might look a little obnoxious. Let's see. See how it made it pop out like that? That's okay. That's okay. And let's see, where else can we throw this class in here? Right here is another Triumph. I'm going to go ahead and hit Command F and then actually search for Triumph, the word. There we go. Looks like I've already done that before. And now they all highlight up for me, which is really sweet. So I can pick out a few more of these that I want. There's no point in doing them all, at least not for the sake of a video. But maybe for continuity of style, we would want to do that. But for now, no need to. Okay, that's starting to look kind of silly, but anyway, it's demonstrating the use. So let's go ahead and throw that into right here as well. Okay, and right like so. All right, and that just popped that up. See that? So now I'm able to style with this class all over. Click on Marlon Brando. Let's go ahead and do that last one there too. Just okay, class, and then close out that span tag. There we go, Triumph. Now let's go ahead and preview our very old school looking, very simple website that we just built from HTML and CSS code from scratch. Okay, great. So we can see how everything is divided up, and I want to go ahead and do something right now just to really kind of drill it in what is going on with CSS. See how we are linking to that style sheet? I'm going to go ahead and actually delete that for a second and save. It's all gone. See that? Okay, look at that. No styling. Now all we have is structure. Okay? And if we go ahead and go back and throw that link tag back in and hit save, and there's our styling. Okay? Now, the nice thing is that the elements that we used are the common elements, the building blocks of a web page. We always use the body tag. We're always using unordered and ordered lists and list items. Anchors are our links, right? We have our headings like H1, H2, H3, and we have our paragraphs, okay? And our images, okay? So these are really common element tags, and that is how you structure a website. And so you just keep that in mind while you're building the structure of it. And then when you apply the styling, it's going to, style those targeted elements. What that means is that I can create another web page now using, all the different elements, H1, body, paragraph, and it's going, as long as I throw this link on here, it's going to style it the same way, okay? And since I also have, my classes and my IDs that I've created, my custom classes and my custom IDs, I can use those in any Word or any document that I want as well, and then just throw the link in. And so I could conceivably have countless web pages. Okay, I can have 5, 10 web pages. I can have, as many as I want to, and link them to a similar style sheet. Now, just imagine if you had a website that had 1,000 pages, and the company suddenly changed their branding to use a different font. You could go into all 1,000 of those pages and change that font using inline styling, okay? You could actually do that, and that would be completely nuts. But you could just go into a link style sheet and then just change the font, and it would actually hit every single web page that is linked to it, okay? So that is the power of CSS, and that's why we want to separate our structure, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and save that again. See that? This is the structure of the site, okay? And then this is the style added, okay? This is how websites are made, okay? Now, when we get into much more complicated websites, when we start looking at WordPress or Joomla or Drupal websites, you can actually view the source code, and you're going to see all of the stuff that you already recognize. You're going to see your divs and your classes and your IDs and your paragraphs and your anchors, your links. And even if the website is incredibly complicated, by just understanding a little bit of this syntax, you're gonna know, okay, if I go into the CSS and change the font family, it'll change this, or I can change the color, or I can change, the line height, or the spacing, or the background color, or swap that image out. Okay, so when we get into a more complicated CMS, we're still going to be able to do quite a bit of designing just by HTML. Not to mention the fact that the HTML editors that we'll be using when you apply content is actually based on this same exact thing. Okay, so get comfortable with HTML and CSS. It's not going anywhere, and although there is a lot more amazing software out there that's allowing you to touch code less and less and less, none of it is perfect, and you will always run into problems that just knowing the very basics of HTML and CSS will help you solve.